more on politics. NDC presidential candidate Peter Obi is calling on INEC to publish the academic certificates of all candidates seeking elective office, arguing that transparency strengthens democracy and builds public trust. Peter Obi made the request in a post on X after completing his INEC nomination form. He stated in part that while completing his form, Section E, question 6 was, have you ever presented a forged certificate to INEC? Again, the answer is either yes or no. This raises another important question. Why shouldn't INEC, in the interest of ensuring that our leaders are exemplary in following the rules and to strengthen public confidence in our electoral process, publish the academic certificates and credentials submitted by every candidate seeking elective office? Transparency strengthens democracy and builds public trust. Nigeria's problems are too serious for politics as usual. It is time for leadership defined by competence, character, capacity, compassion, and commitment to service. I mean, Peter Obi is saying it should not be politics as usual. I mean, Ayo, go ahead.
So I read that statement and I
where is the stone going?
The
stone is defamatory.
No. Beyond the stone, there was another question he asked in that particular post that I thought was quite interesting. Right. He said when they asked that, are you of sound mind?
Yes.
He said he was.
That one too.
Yes. that are we really of sound mind? And it's funny but very serious that if we're of sound mind, how can we continue business as usual when we have a number of our children having spent about 46 days in captivity, and we continue, where people cannot go about their usual duties because of the trauma that we faced based on insecurity? And so he said, he paused, that truly, are we of a sound mind? It's true, because there's almost a syndrome where we have become beholden or we become used to what ought not to be. Things that ought to be bad governance, will spend days debating about it, whether or not it's good or not. We have people coming to defend the indefensible at times. And so that was quite an interesting thought, I thought, that he posed out there. But on this matter of transparency, absolutely spot on. In the interest of strengthening democratic principles and ensuring that we change or upgrade the quality of our leadership and the leadership process, it's only fair that we have transparency across board. And I add to that, not just their certificates, their health, the state of their health. If you're going to get any job, any high level, high paying job, you go through medicals, and that is a key part of whether or not you'll be considered for employment. If we're going for the highest position, at least one of the most important positions in the land, the people deserve to know your academic credentials, to let us know that yes, you went to school, all the things that you're qualified to lead the largest black nation, and the largest country on the African continent. Then beyond that, of course, is declaration of assets. Oh, gee, we keep saying that this person is donating this person has this amount of money. Where is the money coming from? And when you trace the person's background, the only thing they've done is politics. There's no family history of wealth. There's no inheritance that made you magically rich. So these are some of the things that if we're not serious about tackling, we're not going to be serious about the kinds of leaders that we have, and we'll continue to see the bottom barrel lead a group of people who are intellectuals, people who go around the world and do great things. Very important questions, and INEC has a case to answer.
I guess it's the process, but I think that he's making valid points as to how to scrutinize the credentials of presidential candidates. Well, we'll head over to Delta State now, where reactions are trailing the not guilty plea by 5 dismissed police officers charged in connection with the extrajudicial killing of 28-year-old musician and delivery man Ogidi Ogidi. The video of ASP Nuhu shooting Ogidi handcuffed and pleading for his life went viral in April and shook Nigeria to its core. ASP Nuhu faces a charge of murder, and the other 4 officers were charged with negligent acts causing harm. The case is now being adjourned to July 14th. Nigerians are reacting with fury, many asking what exactly is there to deny when the whole country watched the execution happen on camera? And I'll take Akin Kumi's post on X. He wrote, "This is deeply disturbing, especially for those of us living here in Delta State. The evidence is there for everyone to see. How can there be a not guilty plea in the face of such clear video proof? We need real accountability for this to change." And I'll tie in this story. In Abuja, a video that is stopping Nigerians in their tracks, showing a young boy appearing no older than 12 years old, endorsing Jungl justice, has sparked fierce debate online. Speaking directly to camera, the young boy claimed that he witnessed a phone robbery that escalated into a stabbing and alleged that the police rescued the suspect instead of the victim and refused to hand him over to the crowd to be killed. Let's take a look.
For that salad side, the people come. The armed robbers will come, but see, the guy on phone, like he wants snap with person with his 16, but he going phone for there. Now one boys come start attack him, two boys, then they start to chuchukan something. And they collect the phone, the chuchukan something, they one run, they catch one criminal. Now the police tell the criminal, they say that police they be, they know the criminal for us. Now they say that police they be, which police they be, what they know agree. And when they bring them, killer for them, no, they don't agree, bring them. Now they say they be police. Now police they be.
Two things about this video are deeply disturbing and troubling. The first, the allegation that police protected a suspect over a stabbing victim. The second is a child openly calling for a man to be killed by a mob. What does it say about Nigeria when its children have not only witnessed violent crime, but are already endorsing Jungl justice as the solution? The FCT Police Command has yet to respond to this video and the allegations made. Rufai, your thoughts on both stories? First, in Delta State, we see the officers claiming not guilty, and then this is really disturbing video of this young boy openly endorsing Jungl justice.
It's a psychological effect, these things, though. But Ogidi, please, a quick clarification. Somebody said, please remind the viewers that the dates that the judge fixed for hearing, Shirore was in court, but the judge did not sit, and there was no explanation. And that Shirore informed the registrar that he will be traveling to Lagos the following day, and that fixing the next day, that the registrar should consider his trip outside Abuja.
Yes.
That's what somebody just said.
We highlighted that story already when we took that story.
Imagine a child that grows up in this area where the mentality of a child is already destroyed. He's already seen things like Jungl justice. He's already seen heinous crimes being perpetrated. He's already calling for Jungl justice. Is this a country that cares about the future of a child and the next generation? Ogidi, I submit to you, that's an example of the Nigerian child, traumatized, browbeaten, in pain and in penury. The Nigerian child has also seen on social media the video of a police officer shooting somebody dead.
Yes, of course.
All right. Until today, see, Ogidi, the investigation for that case should not also be about shooting the person dead. The crime they were trying to conceal, because it looks to me like they were concealing the crime when he saw that person, and he said the person was at the point of confession when they shot him dead.
I'll talk.
I will talk. So who was he trying to defend and they shot him dead? Who was he trying to protect?
Yes.
Now he's pleaded not guilty. Ogidi, if some people that are stronger behind this police officer, he will go scot-free.
All right,
that's
Dr.
the Nigeria
I'd
for
like
you.
your thoughts on it as well, but I'll read this story so you can tie all three together. And a deeply troubling video has surfaced online showing 3 young girls being apprehended in Lagos, allegedly caught attempting to travel from Benue State to Ghana for prostitution. In the video, the girls are seen being manhandled by an older man, sparking reactions online. Let's take a look.
You read the exam. You don't come out. Now what belongs what you want to cover them? You are still there. You are not there. You are not there. But I want you more.
This video brings to spotlight a crisis that Nigeria has long struggled to confront: child trafficking and organized sex work rings that funnel young girls across borders under the guise of travel. The girls were intercepted, but Nigerians are also asking about the man seen manhandling the young girls in the video and what exactly his role is in all of this. Your thoughts?
Okay, very quickly. See, there is a reign of impunity at all levels in this country. Now, the responsibility of that man or whoever apprehended those young girls will have been to hand them over to the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons. There is an agency like that that is supposed to address a situation like this. But he took the law into his own hands and decided to be beating up the girls. And then the report says, oh, they are going to be sent back to Benue. No, it's not enough to just send them back to Benue. It should be investigated to find out who is behind them. Look at them. These are young girls. You know, they must have been sponsored by an adult. And then secondly, they say they are going to Ghana for prostitution, which is the tragedy of Nigeria. These are young girls who should still be in school or who should be pursuing one trade or the other and trying to make meaning out of their lives. They are probably going to Ghana as a transit location from where they will end up in Europe, either Italy or what is that other country that they go to again?
Netherlands.
Okay, you know. Okay.
I walked into that one.
Well, you know. So, I mean, what I'm just saying is that it's unfortunate that this is what is happening to young people of Nigeria who, in fact, even under Uber clause, you know, have the right to be in school.
Yes.
And for Nigeria to take good care of them because they represent the future, as our politicians say. To the young man in Abuja, well, on the surface of it, it may look like he was criticizing the police because he said, which kind of police be this? Or
now police them.
Or now police
yes,
be this? Something like that, you know. In other words, he was shocked that the police would aid and abet theft on the streets of Abuja. But it's unfortunate also that he is talking about allowing the mob to kill.
That's what he said.
Now,
which is
such
so
a young
alarming.
man
Yes.
is already blood-minded.
Yes.
His own belief, what he has seen in this society, is that if you steal anything, you must either be given the less treatment or you should be beaten. Now, that's an exponent of Jungl justice. And third, at the time that incident took place, and given the way he looks, he should also be in school. And now he's become a street urchin.
Right.
The other one that you took about the killing of Ogidi, well, I mean, it's normal for defendants in court to say we plead guilty.
We plead
not guilty.
Yes, not guilty.
But it is also the duty of the court and the duty of the lawyers involved, either working for defendant or for the state, to ensure that justice is done.
Absolutely.
So pleading not guilty doesn't really mean anything.
Yes.
It's for the cause of justice to be pursued and to be determined.
Yes, of course, you know why it would cause outrage. It's even just like Derek Chauvin. We saw him, his knees on George Floyd's neck and he pled not guilty. Obviously, that's the outrage there. Where we see
the girls,
quickly.
I just want to talk about those three girls because we also must investigate or interrogate what is an incentive for young girls to want to seek a life of prostitution, and that is the failure of state. They're from Benue State, and I just had a quick look at how much FAC came into Benue State in the first quarter of 2026. 50.67 billion naira. A lot of these young people are pushed into a life of prostitution, criminality, for some of them because there are no jobs. And if you look at the lives of these young girls, you would see that they are probably breadwinners or there's pressure on them to make ends meet one way or the other. And so they are led into a life of criminality, and their youth and their childhood they are robbed of their youth and their childhood. And this is why I think it's important for us to spotlight states and subnationals, not just the federal government. The state has a responsibility for reinvigorating the economy of their state, provision of jobs. Some governors have nothing when it comes to ideas around economic activities in their states. And that's why there are some states that are peculiar or are notorious for exporting prostitutes to the rest of the world, just because in many of these areas they have failed their young people and there are no jobs for them to be able to make ends meet. So whilst we condemn the actions and all, let us also find out why they are going, because if not, these are only the 3 girls they picked. There will be other more girls who are looking for more routes to go out to get into prostitution. So let's solve the problem of poverty, of lack of jobs to engage our young people in Nigeria.
The poverty cannot be an excuse for everything. What happened to religious institutions? What happened to the family as a major foundational unit in society? Parents have abdicated their responsibilities. Religious institutions, only God knows how many children still go to Sunday school where values are taught and all of that. So it's a complex source of many factors.
Part of that is one of the things that
you see, the biggest problem is that we live in a society where parents themselves are children.
Where parents themselves are children. I mean, also, this is what we're calling for, some sort of community engagement. We need to instill discipline in our children. Those sort of values that we all grew up in is almost lost in our Nigerian society at this moment.